G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a crossbow. This is a standalone archery weapon with custom reload animations. It works similar to that of the L-string bow mod, so it's got the never-ending legendary effect. You'll just be reloading this after every shot, and that's how you fire this thing. It's got 3 different types of bolts for you to utilize. We'll get to those later, but for now, we'll get over to the attachments. First of all, we've got the receivers, and a little bit like the 44 Magnum, you've got 4, the strongest being the advanced receiver, giving us 253 damage with the standard field point bolt. A reloading winch can be installed on this to increase your reload time. Automatically draws the bow when it is fired. That'll just make the thing, like, it'll pull the string back by itself with some magical force, probably from that winch, which I don't exactly know where that is, but it's there, don't worry about it. And you can have a foregrip stock. It increases your accuracy a little bit and better aim with scopes. Not that you can attach a scope on this thing, but I suppose it's helpful nonetheless. Next up, we've got the sights. So you just got the standard ones that we've got right now. You can have glowing versions of those and also improved versions, which add a little bit more of a rear aperture to the sight there. It's a little bit like the Fallout 76 crossbow sights on these ones. And lastly, you can get a reflex sight. It helps out in VATS a little bit and gives you a much better picture of where you're actually shooting at. So we'll throw that on, and you can have a reloading handle, which increases the reloading speed, which is there. I'm guessing you're supposed to like stand in that, then pull this string up using your own weight to hold the weapon down, but I don't think it's going to be utilized that much for a crossbow like this. They used to do that with medieval crossbows, I think. And lastly, we've got the legendary effect slot, which we could throw on something like instigating. I feel like that would be a pretty strong weapon legendary effect for this one, but we'll leave it. There you go. There's our crossbow. Let's talk about getting it, and then we can talk about shooting it. Okay, so the weapon ammo types are injected onto the leveled list, but so far I've been fairly unlucky at obtaining these things, save for the Storm Bolt, which is one of the 3 of the special bolts for this thing. The other one is just straight explosive. The Storm Bolt is like a shotgun of explosives, so that's pretty good. But yeah, it's on the leveled list, so go look in your shops, and if you can't find it within 48 hours, then wait a little bit longer. Shops reset every 48 hours, so good luck. Righto, so here we are outside of the Immersive Gunners Plaza, and here is the crossbow in first person. It's got a bashing animation, which is that of a bayonet gun, but if you look at the reloading handle, that actually moves and wobbles around as you're doing stuff, which is some pretty good attention to detail. I don't mind that. Take a quick look at aiming down the sights there. It's basically just a standard Fallout 4 reflex sight, which is nice. You take a look at this thing in third person. Note that it's got your standard giant crossbow arms along the side of it, but in third person, when this thing's holstered, through classic holstered weapons, those arms go away, probably because clipping things would probably be going right through Nita's belly there. So good thing that they're not there. So some assembly required, but don't worry, we get it done. And there we go. When you fire this thing, you'll see that the string magically goes back. All we need to do is put the new bolt on, and then we're good to go. Now, as a crossbow, it's not going to be firing at rifle hit scan velocity, so for now, we'll just try to take some targets. I'm not sure if there's any drop either. Doesn't look like there's any drop, so we're going by railway rifle rules by the looks of it, but we're only getting 3.9 times multipliers for sneak criticals, and the gunners are going to be quickly moving out of this thing's range. Like, it's not a very good ranged weapon at all. I just can't seem to hit anything. Like, how much do I need to lead my target? I've got no idea. I can't see the projectile as it's flying around, so I guess we'll just use it in VATS for a little bit. That's better. Note the accuracy on this thing is actually quite high. That's not his headshot. And we can get a lot of shots off in VATS, probably thanks to its reflex sight, so we can probably get a lot of good damage done with gun fu. Although you might notice that I just skipped a bunch of gunners because there was a gunner corpse tumbling towards me, because why wouldn't there be? For some reason, when you shoot multiple times at a target, if we don't kill them immediately, of course. Wow, this thing in VATS has just really turned itself 180. It's gone upside down. I couldn't hit a bloody thing without VATS, but now with VATS, it's great. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Maybe third person. I think that's gonna telepathically dodge that, even though I'm still in caution. So, it's not a very spectacular weapon. There we go, there's that hit, and... Okay, that took ages to get there. She took a slow sidestep to the side and just dodged it. Okay, the velocity on this thing, just basically always use VATS if you don't want to deal with it. Using VATS is the best way. Now, I did mention that there was multiple different types of bolts for you to utilize, and close range shouldn't be too bad, should it? There we go. And the way you switch these is you just double tap R, and then you go over. Explosive bolts. Like frag grenades on the end of your crossbow bolt, this thing will just deliver them like a... Honestly, it's like a silent grenade launcher. So I've got a mod with like the 40mm, I believe that they refer to it as the thumper. But this thing is just a whole better weapon because you can do it within the confines and comfort and safety of stealth. Because, well, not that I'm doing it now, but it's a crossbow, so it's not the loudest thing in the world compared to your standard grenade launchers. But you also get a pretty damn good rate of fire on this. The explosive radius is particularly massive, but this isn't even the strongest that it gets, and it can get a lot better than this. So what I'll do is we'll rewind the clock, we'll bring out the storm bolts, and I'll show you exactly what this bad boy can do, shall we? Okay, so storm bolts have been loaded in. All we need to do is run up nice and close to our foes and let it rip, and we get multiple explosions. And, if you're lucky, some major corpse physics tumbling. There you go. I've seen much better than that, however. There we go. Look at them fly everywhere. Basically, what's happening here is the explosions aren't all landing at the same time. So, whilst the gunners are killed, they go into a ragdoll state. And then what happens then is a secondary explosion hitting like a half second later sends them flying into the sky like they weighed as much as my work Falcon, which is considerably less than the rest of the cars in the fleet. I could probably pick that thing up. Anyways, we'll keep going here. Obviously, a hazard of this is using it in close quarters, but if we stay our distance like this, we can have a pretty good time of just shooting these guys with barely any danger to ourselves. And the spread on this thing is so good that you can sort of just get away with like half-assing the aiming of it because you're gonna hit him and kill him anyway. And you all know the price of this being 60 caps for every storm arrow. Does it justify it? Probably. That's fairly expensive, but in an endgame situation, you'll probably be able to afford heaps of these things. It's not particularly hard to get caps on an endgame level. Like, if you strip all of the combat armor and the weaponry off the gunners, and possibly even the ammo if you're not willing to carry that around, you can get yourself thousands upon thousands of bottle caps just for standard Gunners Plaza, let alone everything else. So... yeah, we're breaching into overpowered territories here, but I think it's fun, so I'm not going to complain. I'm going to die to full damage, though. I know that guy was cloaked. Random commander over there. We'll take him out. I think there's just one more over here. I could attack them from above to watch them ragdoll up, but that's fine. We'll be okay. So the last things we've got left is this room here, and the obvious... thing is that there's a lot of room for user error when using this thing. It's like particularly dangerous to yourself, so just stand back when you use it. And you'll be rewarded. Otherwise, this would happen. You don't want that to happen, do you? Don't worry, that was just a stunt. Alright, time to take on the mighty Swan, but first this guy who sits in the train cart. I'd somehow didn't kill him in one shot, but take his arm out. That should be enough to finish him. Now, next step is to kill the Swan. We're going to start off with just standard bolts just to see how we go, and this will be where I'll show you where this thing has issues in VATS, because I'm going to be critting for all of these, and just keep in mind how many shots I've gotten off on this thing before VATS decides, nah bro, you don't get any more. So as the game's sort of flashing there, that's when I'm activating the crits. I'm just not getting all of these VAT shots in, and I don't know why. Something probably to do with it reloading, I would assume, but that's just my guess. Anyways, we'll take out that Feral Ghoul Reaver. We've got a few extra shots in this thing. Actually able to use that pretty quickly after exiting from VATS. But we should be able to... I hit the R button there to instinctively reload. But no, the rechambering animation is the reload there. It's an interesting system, I think. And I think they've executed it pretty well. It's kind of like a cousin to the L-string bow mod, which I think is a particularly well-made mod for using bows. And I think we've got the Mysterious Stranger. We're still hitting him with sneak criticals, but I'm not really sure how long that's gonna last. Like that! It's going to last that long. And now we get to shoot him from a distance. Go for the head. Yes. We might have a good time if we keep nailing these shots, but we only get 3 shots until VATS calls it quits, so I don't know about that. We just activate this one. On the flip side, though, at least we can retain our AP post-VATS for sprinting away, so there's that, I suppose, but I wouldn't mind just a big, long burst on this. Alright, our critical is ready to go. And I think you get the idea, so we'll speed this up a little bit. We'll bring out the explosive ones, and then we'll try not to miss. That's much better. Look at that damage. That's perfect. We're able to finish him right here, right now. And an Idiot Savant proc there. We get 6,000 XP. That's pretty good. Killzone 2 music made that fairly intense, but I think the next job is to use these storm bolts against something that's going to be a little bit smaller and perhaps a little bit more susceptible to that explosive damage. Alright, see that Wendigo dude? He's going down real bad. Take that. Actually, I think I missed. We'll go for the legs because that means the explosives will be sort of pressed all around him and... Oh, come on. You're not even trying. How about that? That's perfect. He got instantly mutated just then. Okay, that was great. Unfortunately, we can't use that thing at range that much. We gotta use that without VATS, but I don't know. Maybe we'll try that again against something a little bit more big, something with a bigger hitbox. And look, that's our vertibird going on a flight. I wonder where that's going. Probably back to Spectacle Island, but... For some reason, every now and then, that vertibird will fly by and just do whatever. Its AI is to ignore combat, so it sees all of those hostile gunners down there, but it just ignores them. Alright, let's fight the NCR, the giant bear, with one head. Alright, big giant hitbox NCR bear. We'll creep up nice and close to him. We've got a crossbow, so maybe we'll get a couple of cheap shots on him without him noticing or his friends that we're around. So if we just sit on top of this ute, sort of truck, it's a ute, get it right, Americans. And that leg there, that's what we'll go for. Whoa, that's going fast. Okay. That was extremely fast. And I think we just took out all of the bears without even moving. Great. Okay. One of the bear giblets flew off screen and I think it went all the way to the moon. And he dropped me a powered heavy raider right arm, if you're wondering. And look, I think I'm going to call it there for the crossbow. So I think the bolts are good. It's a shame that it doesn't give you the suppress keywords to allow it to do more damage through sneak criticals, which you'd think would what you'd be wanting from a crossbow, considering that there are enemies out there with automatic rifles. The explosives, I think, you could argue that they're a little bit too much, but the weapon's too fun, so I won't be complaining about it. But anyway, if you were impressed with what you were seeing in this video, check out the link in the description. It should be down there. If there's an Xbox port of this, I'll be putting that into the description as well. I like that raider. He noticed there was a a bolt of some description flying around him. You can sort of track the vapor trails or tracer or whatever on the explosive ones, but the normal one you couldn't. And you can just see how abysmally slow those projectiles are. And that might be the biggest flaw of the thing, but other than that, I think it's a pretty, really good, high-quality weapon mod. Also, something I didn't mention earlier is that for some reason this thing has like it's got recoil like that. I don't know how much recoil you'll be seeing out of a crossbow like this, but I don't know. Equal and opposite reactions, right? But check out link if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching, guys.